At Success Funding, we believe in the power of higher education to transform lives. We celebrate the fact that a college education is the engine that powers the American dream. For generations, Americans of all backgrounds have dedicated themselves to earning their degree and using it as a springboard to pursue their dreams and make America better. We recognize that our nation's colleges and universities propel our economy forward. Higher education and the innovation that results drive an estimated 2/3 of the increase in U.S. economic growth. Educating our nation's workforce promises to be even more important in the coming years, as more than 60% of all new jobs will require some college education. And as the baby boomers enter retirement, we face an impending shortage of educated workers. Over the next 20 years, more than 10,000 Americans will turn 65 each day. By 2030, 26% of the population will be 65 or older, up from 21% currently. Globally, the United States is still considered to be the gold standard for higher education, but the foundation for American prosperity is in danger. China, India, and other countries are making large investments in higher education and are catching up quickly. In fact, today, the U.S. ranks only 8th in terms of college enrollment. But by far, the biggest challenge we face is the dramatic and alarming increase in college tuition. Over the past 3 decades, tuition costs have skyrocketed 1,117%, which is more than double the increase in the cost of health care. To finance this huge increase, students have been forced to take on an increasingly alarming amounts of debt. In just 5 years, the number of students going into debt has doubled. Today, 65% of undergraduates borrow money to finance their education, and on average, they graduate with more than $27,000 in debt, with some taking on $50,000, $100,000, or more. The impact of all this debt is far-reaching. 1 in 3 currently repaying their student debt are in default. Staggering. Moreover, recent grads are postponing starting their post-collegiate lives. Some are living at home. Many are being forced to delay getting married or buying a home, all of which act as a drag on the economy. As price increasingly becomes part of the college decision-making process, a number of colleges have been unable to fill their freshman classes. Student debt also impacts parents and families who are often required to co-sign the loans. If the student defaults, the parents are forced to take on the debt. At the very same time, they are working hard to set aside funds for retirement. And finally, because the government guarantees many of the loans, in the case of default, the burden ultimately falls on the taxpayer. That's you and me. Something has to change. As Albert Einstein once famously said, problems cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created them. The government can't change it, the banks can't change it, but we can change it. With Success Funding, you and I can provide mini scholarships directly to individual students. We can give $20, $50, $100, more or less. We decide how much and who we wish to support. The power of Success Funding is that all of these smaller donations add up and make a big difference for the student. With Success Funding, donors support students we believe in, from our hometown, or our high school, or those who are attending our alma mater. Talented students who share our passions and interests. Students who want to make a difference in the world. As donors, our support allows these individual students to pursue their dreams. And as they pursue their dreams, we all share in their accomplishments. The impact of Success Funding is far-reaching. Students are not weighed down by onerous amounts of debt upon graduation. So, there are fewer defaults, and they are able to start their post-collegiate lives, getting married, buying homes, and becoming thriving members of society, all of which help our economy. Parents and families also benefit. Younger siblings are able to attend college. Parents can save for retirement rather than being compelled to repay their children's student debt. Our nation's colleges and universities remain strong. They are able to attract the best and brightest students who now have a way to finance their education other than student debt. And it doesn't end there. Each Success Funding student takes the Success Funding Pledge. They pledge to repay the generosity of their donors not by repaying the donor directly, but rather by pledging to support future students in the generations to come. The donor support then not only benefits the individual student, it creates a virtuous circle of giving that never stops. At Success Funding, we believe that student debt is a big problem, but it's not bigger than all of us. Make a difference today at successfunding.com.